So, anyone that knows me knows that my message is very clear. Magic happens when you are being you, and when you be authentic and you believe, then shit just happens, right? So, the question begs, who am I? And what I am so in love with teaching is the identity concept, because if we are trapped by an identity that is small, then we live small lives. If we are eating at the level of a vision that is higher than the clouds, then our lives are expansive and they are big. So I once heard from my coach, and she said the most amazing thing. She said, if you want to change your life, you've got to change your vision. Because someone who is eating grass is someone who let me say this differently. A turtle who eats grass or is on the playing field at grass level, right? A tortoise or a turtle that is just on the ground is going to have a different vision of life based on what they perceive than the giraffe that's eating from the trees. And here's why I'm so fascinated with animal analogies, because once you understand it at an image level, then you understand it at a conceptual level. So we're all children learning through images, but we think we learn through just words and facts alone, just the scientific way of only what is. Not true. So did you know that if the giraffe tries to diminish its, let's say, height and wants to be like fitting in with the turtles, if that giraffe was to then go from eating the trees and then to bend its neck over to fit in and minimize its power and strength and all the good stuff, did you know just by him going from this tall being to actually arching over and staying at this consistently would actually cause his heart to stop? Blood would actually not be able to reach his heart, which is very fascinating. Because when you are a leader or a spiritual giant and you are someone that is eating off the freaking top of a tree, and a turtle says to you, like, you're stupid, and then you think you need to lower or diminish your light or come down to the playing field of everyone else or every other turtle, what's interesting is you die. You literally would die because there's no circulation to your heart because you are not someone who is on ground level. And here's the irony. The giraffe is not better than the turtle, and the turtle is not better than the giraffe. It just is separate. And as long as the turtle believes it needs to be the giraffe, then it's going to judge the giraffe. And as long as the giraffe listens to the giraffe is effed. Like, do you see the conceptual misconception that we believe we need to fit in, so we pretend to be something that we're not, and then we get really confused when our heart is stifled and there's no blood flow. We actually call that lack of creation. But that's just happening simply and purely because we believe that we need to be something or be someone that we're not. And when we do that, our creativity is stifled because now our vision is so much smaller. We've gone and put this big, large energy into a box. And when you are the sun, right? Same analogy, but in different context. If a sun doesn't believe that it's okay to shine so brightly and it tries to diminish that power, it's not going to end well for us, right? So it's that concept that your light is needed. Without that sun, there is so much growth that doesn't happen just off of photosynthesis alone. So much of life force requires the sun to rise. And just like that concept, so much of life is waiting for you, and not just waiting, it requires for you to rise. It's actually very natural. People think that progression is not natural. They think that progression needs to be this big, dramatic, overnight change. But progression, actually, in its most understood form, is very natural, just like the sun rising every single day. And the reason we don't believe that it can be that simple or be that easy is because unconditional love is missing. And so we're using all of our willpower instead of relying on our source. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't rely on my strength to make the sun rise. It just is. It just happens. But humans are very funny. We think we have to force things and rely on our own willpower for this big vision to manifest or this big life to unfold. But when I rely on source and I rely on the sun to do its big, amazing things, then all of a sudden I benefit from it. And then same thing with you. When you rise, everyone around you benefits. And the ones that don't benefit, those turtles that are like naysayers, they're naysaying, but it's not personal because based on what they see is their truth. Same thing with you. It's truth because you see it. And I want to talk about that even because seeing is not something where you open your eyeballs and you put on your glasses and then you see. Most of the time, big spiritual giants are the people that see when their eyes are closed, not when their eyes are open. That's what we call faith, right? So when I say magic happens simply when you are being you, you're taking all of these different ideas that, yes, the world needs you to be you because fighting that is ridiculous. And number two, your natural progression, the next thing that you desire, the next accomplishment you are after, the next thing requires that you eat off of the level of your vision and not succumb to those that think differently or those that are telling you it's wrong. It's not wrong, they just don't understand it. So if you are to help someone understand it, you're wasting your time. We're not here to be liked. We're not here to persuade. We are here to stay in alignment and trust with audacity that our faith is bigger than even just a small idea of misunderstanding. A lot of my emotional pain came from thinking that I needed to wait for the outside world to give me a key that I had the entire time. Wait for permission to just show up and speak my truth. Wait for someone to recognize me and see me. Or even worse, wait for someone to tell me that it was okay to eat off of the trees in which my vision was stemming from. Because most of my life, not knowing I was a giraffe, was told, like, you just need to be grateful. And that is so hilarious when we misuse gratitude for what it is. Gratitude is not here to block us. Gratitude is here to add in addition to. Like, I'm grateful for this and I want more. That's the proper use of gratitude. Gratitude was never meant to be used as a building block and to justify our staying small. Like, I'll just be grateful and I'll just stay here because that's just the way things are, right? And then if we take this another step deeper, the giraffe is not comparing itself to a very small creature like an eagle. An eagle in stature isn't bigger than a giraffe, but its vision is. The eagle isn't just on one tree. The eagle is limitless in its rapture and in its freedom and its ability to see farsighted. So regardless of the animal, you must understand that your vision can change and that the only way to allow it to actually change your life is to understand that you're the only one that determines your vision. So an animal can't change form, but what's beautiful is we can change our vision. So if you've been the turtle and your vision has been like on the ground trying to get your survival needs met, awesome. You can change your vision, which will then change your identity. So therefore, in a sense, yeah, you're becoming the freaking giraffe. And then if you get tired eating off of that level or that layer of your next vision, then you can become the eagle. But what's amazing as humans is we're not necessarily changing form as much as we're changing belief. Okay, I want you to get that. Your belief will help you change your form. So if you want to change your belief, you've got to ask one question. Am I okay with the vision that it currently holds? Or am I totally unaware of the vision of where I want to go? Because most people are unaware. If I said write down right now with a pen and a paper all of the things that you want and you're allowed to have anything you want, it might be easier to do that exercise than for me to say, okay, now be very specific on what you want in the next 30 days. Right? Like, why is that? Why are humans so constrained around time? And I'll tell you why, because you don't believe based on your past, you're capable of being different in your future. So now we've got another element in the conversation besides vision. Vision is one part of it, is the foundation. But the second part of that is the element of time. And time is a direct correlation of past, present, and future. And as long as you live in the past, then every time you try to grow into being the giraffe, you're like, oh, this doesn't feel familiar. I'm going to go back to being the turtle, right? And there are ways around that. There are ways to surpass the identity shift, but the identity shift happens at the vision shift, if that makes sense. So a turtle can say all day long, I want to be a giraffe, I want to be a giraffe, I want to be a giraffe. And the rest of the world will say, you're crazy, you're crazy, you are crazy, right? But as soon as the turtle says, I love being a turtle, I just want to eat at a bigger vision. I just want to eat at the table of the riches. Cool. Like now that the vision has shifted, the height has already been surpassed, the capacity has opened, and now you're seeing things from a different level. So without even trying to be someone that you weren't, because you changed your vision, you saw differently. And because you saw differently, your identity changed. And because your identity changed, your beliefs changed. And what's amazing about all of that is that the only one in control of time is you. So, in this moment, what are you going to do with your belief system and what is your vision? Go ahead and comment below. What is your vision? I'd love to know what it is.